Hi, here are a couple notes for the persuasive paper that you'll be working on. The first thing is you need a specific audience, because if you say everybody, everybody's not going to be interested. Everybody's not going to respond the same way. For example, say you were going to talk about the speed limit, right? And you're going to say everybody. Well, 4-year-olds don't drive and don't care. They sit in the back and they make noise, and it's not relevant to them, right? People who live in New York who ride the subway aren't going to care either. So different ages will have different responses. Different genders will have different responses. Social groups will have different responses. So while you're writing this, really think of who is the specific audience that you're writing to. The other thing is I want you to think about, everybody since 9th grade has been writing their persuasive paper, exercise more, or guns are bad, or no control, that kind of basic stuff. And if you got a boring topic, right, or you're just saying what you already know, you're not going to get a lot out of this paper. So I had you watch the recycling video, or you will shortly, and see how terrible recycling really is in certain ways, right? As far as your computer goes, you think you're doing something good and you're poisoning people in another country, right? So if you think about it, when it comes to telling somebody to recycle their computer, basically you are saying in a lot of cases, hey, dump your computer off on a poor country, right? And feel good about yourself. So what if, for example, so when you look into it, instead of saying, hey, dump your computer off or your phone off on a poor country so they can get poisoned while they recycle it, what if you said, keep your phone 2 years longer, right? Or don't, so that kind of thing. So instead of recycling, how about don't even use it, right? So instead of recycling your plastic bottle, why don't, because we're all drinking 1 billion bottles, I think that number's even accurate, right, of bottled water, and that plastic has to go somewhere, right? Instead of recycling your plastic bottle, why don't you stop using your damn plastic bottle, right, and buy one for $8 that you can use and refill. So I really want you to think about what you're trying to argue. Also, right, say you're right, right, because we all know we're right in certain areas. Right. Well, I want you to, what about instead of, once again, just saying what you already think and know, right? Think about somebody else just like you who agrees with you. And now, challenge them to think of the other side in a new way, right? I can give you an example, right? So say you are for choice, right, as far as abortion goes, and you think that's a woman's right to decide what goes on with her body. And why are all these white 70-year-old senators, right, telling women what to do? Fair point, right? But what if, right, your persuasive paper was, well, still not changing your ideas on as far as you believe a woman has a right to choose. That doesn't change, right? But we know people on each side sometimes can get just militant and not listen. What if you were trying to persuade somebody to understand why somebody else, right, would think the value of the life of the fetus trumps that? I don't know, I'm just throwing out an idea. I want you to sort of get out of that, oh, it's a persuasive paper, I'm going to write guns are bad, or I'm going to write the government's going to take our guns away, right? Both of those are really, right, they're questionable, and you're not going to get anything really interesting out of them. And the whole idea of writing, right, or one of the big ideas, is clear, honest, and thought-provoking, right? So I want you to actually think about what it is you're trying to persuade somebody, a specific group, to do. Why are you trying to persuade them? Do a little research and see, is what you're arguing even make sense? Right? I can't, just last semester I had a student tell me, right, writes this paper about the government's coming to take our guns. And I'm like, show me a law where they're actually going to take all the guns. Limit, sure, we're on that, right? And then the other part is we got a Republican president, Republican Senate, Republican Congress. How the hell is the government going to take our guns when the hugest supporters of the NRA control all three parts of government? It just didn't make sense. That wasn't a very interesting paper. So he was able to move on, stay on guns, because guns are important to him, but find something that's actually going to be interesting and accurate and worth digging into and finding out some information. That's a little bit of a ramble, but that's why I had you do 3 different topics so you can put those in. I'll be reading those over I already read a couple today, and as they come in, I'll be checking my post every day, except Monday's a big travel day for me, but today, Saturday, Sunday, I'll check every morning, make sure that you get feedback on them. All right, so I hope you have a productive early part of the weekend so you can enjoy the 4th, and I will be back.